So we are live on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram for show 111, 111. Make sure you follow at Ask Flipman on Instagram, Twitter, and here on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe, turn on the notifications, and turn on your post notifications on Instagram. Over to you, Adria.
Welcome, everyone. I'm glad to be back this week, August 22nd. As you said, it is show number 111. We did miss you guys last week, but glad to be back. This is where you can ask your questions in regards to wholesaling, and this is where we'll answer them. We have the beautiful Miss Renikia Williams with us. If you're new to our channel or Instagram page or Facebook, what do you call it? Is it a channel? Do you call it a channel?
What?
Flippinar channel.
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Flip channel. Okay.
That'll work.
Flip channel.
Well, Renikia will most definitely once or twice throughout this episode let you know how to get in contact with her and the benefits of partnering with her and her company. I like to go through and say hello to quite a few people. So King Musa from Houston, what's up? Michael Mendoza from Cali, Gabriel Gallegos from Fort Worth, Nicholas, Miami, Victor. And we got some little feedback here. That's not me. That's Tado. And I see we got some people on Instagram. So, hey, Challenger the Great is Great Nate, Muhammad, Kawhi. Go ahead and start posting your questions. Renikia, how have you been?
I've been great. I've been awesome. How have y'all been?
That's enough right there. That's a feeling in itself. Okay, well, Rhonda, I see you from New Jersey. Kurt, Lakeland, Virginia, Alaska, Tatiana. Okay, never mind. Chad and John. Abigail has our first question. It comes from YouTube. And guys, keep in mind, we do still want you to send those live video questions via Instagram, where we can post them throughout the week and have Ty answer your questions live and possibly even have them on Thursday's shows. So don't forget to do that as well. Abigail wants to know what happens if the people still owe on the house. Does that mean they can't do a wholesale deal? Absolutely not. What would you do in that case, Renikia?
Yeah, actually, that's a really good question because some properties will have an existing mortgage on there. So as long as your wholesale price is higher than the existing mortgage, it won't be a problem. All liens, such as a mortgage, have to be paid off at the closing table when you do sell it to your end buyer. So it will be paid off at the closing table. But when there is a mortgage on there, you want to make sure that the price that they're selling it for or asking covers at least that mortgage amount.
All right, there you have it. Guys, I would highly suggest that if you did not get to check out that new video that Ty posted on Instagram of his recent trip to, is that North or South Cali? Which is it? South Cali. Ooh. Traveling.
Wow.
Flight miles.
Okay.
Check those videos out. He typically tries to post material and content on Instagram daily as well as YouTube. So make sure you're checking out those videos, guys. North and South investors, welcome. I see you on Instagram. You say it's your first time here. Thank you for joining us. And let's see here. The next question we're going to take is going to be from Kurt, and this is from YouTube. He wants to know, if you don't have a marketing plan, should you just knock on doors? That's Gator. That's real Gator.
That's a marketing plan.
That's a plan, I guess.
I mean, honestly, I think the same effort and energy it takes you to go around and knock on every door be the same effort and energy of putting together a marketing plan. So I would just take that step back or take that day or that week back and just put together that marketing plan. But knocking on doors is an option. It's a lot of legwork. So you want to work smart and not hard as much as you can.
All right. On Instagram, OMG It's Nate wants to know, how would you advise letting the seller know you have the agreed negotiated price for the property if it's your first deal and you don't have that money yet? Maybe he's speaking on when you're getting the seller, you've negotiated the price with the seller and you have it under contract. Do you really need to tell them at that point, hey, I technically don't have the money yet, but I'm working on it? That's not a conversation that you're going to have.
No. Less is more. Less is more. I mean, the seller definitely don't want to hear that you don't have the money. So the key is that it's all in the contract. So you built those due diligence period in your contract, which is a period that allows you to really, you're supposed to really be vetting the house. But during that due diligence period as a wholesaler, you're vetting the home, but you're also looking for your end buyer. And if you cannot find an end buyer during that due diligence period, it'd be smart to just contact your seller and say, hey, it looks like there's more repairs than I expected, and it no longer works for me. And you have the option to back out of that contract before the deadline of that due diligence period. So you don't have to say, I don't have the money. You can just tell them that, hey, it did not work for me, so therefore I'm terminating my contract. And you want to do that during the due diligence period.
All right, guys. So for any of you that always want to know, like, how can I back out of this? There you go. There's your answer during that due diligence period. You have an out. There is an out. John Witt on Instagram says
that one?
that was OMG on Instagram.
Okay. OMG. Okay.
Yeah, follow me now. Okay. John Witt on Instagram wants to know, bandit signs definitely work, but long term, how do you justify doing this if it becomes an issue with the city? So bandit signs most definitely work, but bandit signs aren't the end all catch all for marketing. We just had another question that said knocking on doors, but in addition to bandit signs, what else do you have?
Right. Which is a really great question. I mean, the key is that you don't want to put all your apples in one basket. I mean, over the 10, 15 years of me being in this business, my leads didn't come from one source. So the great marketing campaign is that you have 2 or 3 different lead campaigns going or lead generating campaigns going. So it's hedging the others. So if someone's not calling on your bandit signs, maybe you're getting some calls on your yellow letters. Maybe you're getting some attraction with the other marketing material, networking, going to real groups and things of that nature. So you want a combination of multiple and not necessarily put all your apples in one basket.
Okay. Flipping back to YouTube, Miss Doreen, who can't you see? Oh, you can't see me. No. Excuse me. I haven't been on the camera in a long time. I'm still here though. You have my voice. Uh-huh.
You all have to request that Adrian get back in front of the camera.
Not gonna happen. Okay. TKO Peanut says, thanks for the platform. Have you heard of the new law that's attacking wholesaling? I see that in several posts. I don't know if this is
they talk. Let me go in and just address it from what I know, which is not much.
Okay.
They're referring to what's happening in Illinois.
Yes.
And I talked to one of I guess you would say my connects up there, and he knew a little about it, and he actually reached out to the person that he does his title work, does his title and closes deals for him, and it said they sent him a message where it wasn't their job to interpret the law, I guess I need to research it. I thought about it. At first I was like, well, I don't care. But then I said, well, no, I need to know this. You know what I'm saying? Because it may affect us at one point. And Renique, you may already have an answer for it or whatever. But
I haven't heard about it. I want to hear about it.
My God, people been at it. It's supposed to be in effect where you have to have a real estate license in the state of Illinois to wholesale. Now, what he told me was, from his understanding, that you could only wholesale, you could only assign 2 properties in a year before you would need a license. All right. Now, I'm sure from what he was telling me, we had a little lengthy conversation, is that, the way it's written, from my understanding, or his understanding, it doesn't prevent transactional funding, which will allow you to double close something. And I thought, I woke up in the middle of the night and thought about this, is that, and a lot of people say you could do this with the REOs, is that you would set up which you'll be setting up a lot of them, but it doesn't cost that much. It'll just be cost of doing business. Whenever you contract a property, you will put it in an LLC, right? And so when you get ready to go to close on it, with your buyer have that understanding, they'll be okay with it because they want the deal. Basically, the buyer, just before the closing, all that paperwork would be right there at the closing. They would buy your LLC for a fee, right? Which would basically be what would normally be your assignment fee. And then they would just buy the property in the LLC, right at that point, or however long it takes to transition that sale or whatever. I'm sure the attorney would do put whatever paperwork in front of you to make sure he's covered on his end or whatever. So
from what I'm hearing, I just think that everyone's going to have to start doing transitional funding. You're going to have to be able to take care of that additional fee to be able to double close your properties. Yeah. I'm a loophole type of person. People and laws put you in these boxes, but they will always create loopholes for themselves, and you have to find them. And from what I'm hearing, I think the loophole is just doing your double closing and have to take care of that extra fee.
Yeah.
For your double closing.
Yeah, and normally when these laws are written, they're written by people that probably never wholesaled a property before. Mm-hmm. I don't know this to be the case in this situation, and they think they have it figured out, but these attorneys so smart or whatever, exactly. And not to keep them from keep filling the holes or whatever, but you're almost saying like you can't buy. Because the only way they can really stop a wholesale deal, now they can make it more difficult, is that they say you can't buy a piece of real estate unless you have a real estate license. We know that's not.
And that's impossible because people can't.
That's impossible.
Buy. That's impossible.
That would bring the entire real estate industry to a halt.
Yeah, exactly.
You see what I'm saying? Because they're basically saying that you can't buy a piece of real estate unless you have a real estate license. Come on now.
Well, from what I'm reading is that they're ultimately trying to stop the selling of a property before you legally own it.
Well, you can only own it for a second legal. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. You can't really stop that part.
Well, they said just from what I've read the last 5 minutes, it's going to be more about enforcing it, and it's going to be more of the verbiage and how you describe yourself. So wholesaling is going to be out, but that's what we promote anyway.
Well, I don't know anybody. Yeah, you don't promote that you're a wholesaler anyway. You're a real estate investor. It's just a form of real estate. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I see so many loopholes with that, and I can see what's going on, especially in the state of Illinois, because those properties are so cheap. They have so much spread in it, and I feel like they want to stop a certain group of people from getting that wholesale money, because you can pick up properties out there for $40,000, $50,000, $60,000, and they really worth $250,000, $300,000. When you have that type of spread in those houses, you can make a killing as a wholesaler, in those areas. But that's interesting.
Well, we'll see.
Ride the wave. Today close. Today turn the lights off.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a little bit more research on it and see what I can find out. Maybe I can report back.
Yeah, me too, because I feel that a lot of these states going to start adopting that same law.
I'm seeing something similar in Oregon as well.
Yeah.
Oregon, Colorado, and Illinois are like top of the list of, I guess, blogging. I can see it now. From August the 1st to now, there's been nothing but posts about how wholesaling is going to change. But don't let it fret. No fret.
No, keep banging.
Yep.
Let's say it's powerful to stop.
Yeah.
Back to the questions. Let's see here. We just spoke about marketing. We talked about bandit signs. We talked about door knocking. And Creme de la Carta on Instagram says, Flipman, what do you think about wholesaling a mall? I thought it said wholesaling by mail, but actually wholesaling mall. That's actually commercial, so it's not the same.
Well, yeah, it's just a commercial deal, you know. So if you can get it at a significant discount, it can be wholesale, no matter what the price is. If it can be at a significant discount, if the mall is worth 50 million, get it for 30. Yeah, you can wholesale.
You got a buyer?
Yeah, ain't no question. That'll be, you can get a cash buyer for that, you know. So it just has to be just a great deal, you know, in order for you to get in the middle of it. So
okay. On Instagram, let's see here. Jason Hutchinson wants to know, can I use your purchasing agreement contract in Florida? And he's speaking of the contract that is available to each and every one of you free of charge. You can visit dealulator.com, which is like a prop stream, but only on dealulator.com will you find that one-page contract that Ty has been using since the beginning of his career that gives you the option to plug and chug your information, print it out, and or email. But to answer the question, Flip,
what's that?
Can it be used in Florida?
Can you use your pro? Okay, I see it right here. Yeah, of course. Yeah, most definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I have a couple students down there that I know use, but yeah, it's used in Florida.
Okay. Next question is going to be from Mr. McConnell. He says, I have a list of homes that are vacant and look distressed, but with skip tracing, I'm having trouble finding phone numbers that are still in service. Is there a way I can JV with you on these?
For me?
The owl, the hoot owl. I don't know. No, I thought the actual question was going to go towards how can you find the numbers for those distressed properties, but answer all the questions, Ty. Go.
What? Who asked this?
John McConnell.
Okay, Ty, have a list of homes that are
you going to reread the question? I just read the question.
This is the one.
Thank you. Come get them.
Well, what I would recommend if you're having trouble finding numbers, John, you know, you can always, there's some services. The more you pay normally, the more accurate the numbers are going to be. You know? And I don't know how many homes you're talking about. Just pop something in the mail. I would always recommend, if it's not that many of them, send it through FedEx or UPS. You know, that's going to increase your response rate tremendously, because your piece of mail will get noticed, and in most cases it'll get read. So that's what I would recommend to you.
Okay. You know, which is the subscriber on YouTube, you know, is this really live? Yes, it's really live. It is it's August 22nd, 6:09 p.m. Central Time, which is 7:29 Eastern. We're live. Post your questions. Retro Ramsey wants to know, what's the process of wholesaling from home if you have no vehicle? Not having a vehicle should stop you.
No, it won't stop.
Right.
It hurt a little bit, but it won't stop.
Just a little.
Because a lot of people do virtual. I've been more. I spoke to a guy. I been talking to. Really got me paying more attention to it, but he didn't want me to go into what he does, and I'm not, cause but he don't ever leave his house, and he got a car, and he has a car, so yeah, it can be done. No question about that. You have to use those on the internet. Now I'm assuming you got the internet. You got to at least have that.
Yeah,
if you ain't got that, it's gonna really be difficult.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
You can do a lot of stuff virtually. You know, I mean, I would suggest that you partner with someone eventually who does have a car, and you could expand, your lead generation campaigns and things of that nature. But you can do a lot virtually.
Ooh, okay, let's see here. Going back to Instagram. Yes. Lil Henry says prop stream makes everything easy AF. It does. It does. I suggest that each and every one of you go check it out, dealulator.com, and take advantage of that 5-day trial period to see if it's something that you want to add to your tools for wholesaling. Let's see here. Coco Cuff. Cute, so cute. Hey, Flip Man, I know you do a walkthrough of the property in order to determine the ARV. However, do you pay for a formal inspection, or do you let the buyer do it if they so choose? So we're talking about maybe getting the estimate of repairs and all of that. And this is from Instagram.
Oh. Well, who they asking me?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
They asking if you would you pay for the inspection? But I'll take it. As a wholesaler, never pay for an inspection. If you're looking to purchase it and do a fix and flip, buy and hold, yes, you want to know exactly what you're purchasing, because inspection will inspect the roof, plumbing, electrical, and things of that nature, the foundation. But if you're just wholesaling it, I would never do an inspection. I'll let the end buyer inspect the property.
Okay, and speaking of inspections and estimating repairs to get to the ARV, or figuring out how much repairs would take it for the property to get to the ARV, what about a pool? Can you do you know how much value fixing up the pool would add to the house ARV?
I don't think it adds a value to it. It just makes it more, it may, depending on where it's located, meaning what market you're in, it may make the property more attractive. It's just an amenity. I don't know if it really adds any value to it. What do you think?
I would say the same. I mean, definitely in certain areas, it probably devalue your property. I mean, because people really don't like the extra maintenance of having a pool, but in certain areas like California, that's normal to have a pool in those areas. So it'll actually probably devalue your home if you're in the area like California, you don't have a pool, or your neighbors do have a pool. So I think it's relative to the area. I think it's relative to the area where you're doing your fix and flip.
Yeah,
but
in Minnesota.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, if you're in Minnesota, you got a pool.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I was looking at something. I don't know, but I think I was looking at something in Las Vegas, and like just everybody had a pool. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's just like gotta have
You
whatever. Where the neighborhood I was looking in, I think I was looking at an overhead view, and just everybody had a pool. You know, just,
right.
I guess just because it's so hot. You know, I guess.
Mm. Okay. Hello, Robin. Robin's from the DMV and she's on Facebook. Hey, Tab Hill and Devore and Clayton. What kind of contract do I need to wholesale step by step? So we might want to explain what wholesaling is. I've seen that Facebook. I've seen that term thrown around, wholesaling. And then what's different about that, if anything?
The contract won't be any different.
Okay.
It's just a purchase and sales agreement. What you do after that, you know, that's up to you.
Okay. So what's wholesaling?
Oh, wholesaling is basically you go in and basically from my understanding, you go in, the property might have a lot of junk and stuff in it. Grass hadn't been cut. You go and clean it out. Cut the grass, maybe even go as far as doing some painting, but really not going to probably get too far outside of that. A good cleanup, painting, maybe lawn care, you know, that's it.
Okay.
And you put it on the market and find a more of a retail buyer.
Yeah.
You get a higher price.
Yeah, you'll be a little bit more patient on it, you know. So.
Gotcha. What's up, Shaq Smith from Westside D-Town, our frequent viewer? Let's see here. Top Dog on YouTube says, this is my first time watching your show. I'm in the Atlanta area and looking to learn more about wholesaling and flipping homes. Do you know anyone in the Atlanta area I can link up with? So what would be a good place? Nope.
Let it rip, Brittany.
So, yeah, considering that you might be familiar with that market,
just a little bit.
Who and how could he hook up with people? What kind of meetings? Any suggestions on that?
Actually, a lot of real estate investing groups here in the Atlanta area. You can probably go to meetup.com and just put a real estate Atlanta, and a lot of them will pop up. There's a few that I can name, but if you can send me either email or maybe even a direct message, I can definitely hook you up with those meetings in the Atlanta area. But there's always real estate groups going on like every day in the Atlanta area. So you really just want to plug in and network with all these real groups and things of that nature. So if you want to email me at funding@fkfinancials.com, I'll send you an email of some of the ones that I know and the people that is heading those groups, so you can connect with those individuals and some movers and shakers in the Atlanta area. But also go to meetup.com and Google it from Meetup too, because a lot of it be on Meetup.
Now, speaking of, I think you said they can email you at funding@fkfinancials.com. That FK is Funding Key Financials, I do believe, correct?
Fortune Key Financials. Yeah.
Fortune Key Financials.
You know what I've been saying?
What you've been saying?
I've been telling people Funding Key.
I've been saying.
Oh, really? Because my website is fun. One of my websites.
Oh, okay. That's what I've been telling. Okay, I'm right on that.
Yeah, I got a few. I got a lot of websites too.
Ooh, here we go. Okay. Well, this is
But my main website is at fkfinancials.com. My main website. So.
Okay. Now, what exactly does Fortune Key Financials? What type of service?
Yes.
Funding Key.
She just said Fortune Key.
Fortune Key Financials.
Right, it is.
Man,
I have a website.
Let me know when y'all want me to just to make this. I'll make me some coffee.
But thank you so much. Yes. At Fortune Key Financials, what we do is just specialize in financing, creative financing. One thing I realized, nothing moves before the money. No real estate deal is being purchased before the money. Nothing moves before the money. So sometimes in order to really get out here and be truly successful in either taking your real estate business to another level, if you're looking at doing some fix and flips or buying whole, you may need more cash in your pocket. Or if you're just looking for a lump sum of money to do some marketing for your wholesale business. But if so, we can help you leverage your credit to receive up to $150,000 unsecured credit to help offset some of those expenses. And we are one of the #1 hard money lending companies out there in the United States. So we lend nationwide, and we can also help you do finance your fix and flip with your purchase and your rehab money as well.
All right, there you have it. And for those of you who are on YouTube and Facebook, if you see on your screen there, you have the information. And for those of you on Instagram, you can always come back to YouTube or Facebook and rewind and look at the screen and get her information. She is Renikia Williams across all social media platforms, and we will most definitely post this again before we end our show tonight. So,
and also go to findmynextdeal.com if you're looking to take advantage of those funding options.
There you go. There you have it. Adrian Rivas wants to know, what did you learn in California?
I went to matter of fact, I'll show you. I went out to see
We'll wait.
I went out to
How was doing? Did you see when you got there?
What I did is I've been wanting to go out there.
What happened was
Chris Gomez, his operation, he got started by watching my videos, and he's done 3 videos on testimonial videos on my on the YouTube channel, and they're out there crushing it. And so, I wanted to go out there, see what they were doing, share some of the stuff I know, obviously, but see what they were doing mainly. And I had never been, that far west before. So, it was part of that, even though I didn't really get to experience anything. But it was a really, really good thing. But to answer your question, I went out there for business reasons of just trying to get more organized. Because his background is from telemarketing. So he's transitioned that over to his wholesale business. They're on pace to do about $3 million this year.
wow.
And so, I think I need to get out there now.
Yeah,
of course, they're in a higher end market in the sense that, the hood out there is 250. So, You know, so that's relevant. But the thing is, you know, you're not going to do anything different than I'm doing as far as putting the deal together. But I wanted to check out their systems and what they're doing. You know, just a little different than what I'm doing, a lot different than what I'm doing. But you know, yeah.
Wow.
So that's why I was out there. But he and I did an interview. I'm mumbling here, stumbling. He and I did one interview. His first interview was probably like February of 2017. His first deal was $21,500.
Wow.
Fast forward 6 months later. He had done about over 400,000 in deals. Fast forward a year and a half later, a year or so later, is when I went out there and did the interview 2 weeks ago. You know, 100K month, that's normal for them. You know, well, really approaching 200,000 to 300,000 a month. You know, so they do about 10 deals a month. Their average deal is 25 to 35,000, and then they'll have a home run probably once a month where they'll do a $75,000 to $100,000 deal. So
wow, and he just started a year and a half ago.
Yeah, he started back in January of 2017. So really 2 years. So 2 years. So
what have I been doing with my life?
That's good.
Oh my God.
And that's a great thing about places like California. Those wholesale spreads is going to be a lot lower.
Oh my God,
a lot more equity in those properties. Yeah. So I can only imagine what they can really do as a wholesaler in areas like California.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Wow.
And he, in his mind, why would I flip? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's money. You know, he holds picks and hold a couple of properties every now and again, but for the most part, they just banging out, and they trying to expand into other markets or whatever. And they didn't know about the Delulator, aka PropStream. They were impressed with that, so I showed them that. And they liked the mail to flip. They do direct mail, and he's on Instagram. You can check him out at Chris the Shark. Chris KRISDA Shark on Instagram. But you can check out that video we did. Just look up. I'll pull it up in a second. We'll continue on.
Oh, thank you.
Congratulations, Mr. Shark. That's an amazing testimony. That's motivation.
It is absolutely. I'm moving to Cali. Ain't doing nothing here but ready to move to Cali and kill it.
Which is just as equivalent to you wholesaling in a high-end markets in your area too, somewhat.
Yeah.
Well, that's him. That's him on there on the Bentley, and that is his.
Oh, Bentley. Really? So he already got the Bentley and everything going.
I seen it. I seen it in his garage.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about. This is a real testimony.
So that's the title. That's the title of the video that we did. So you can go to YouTube and do a search for it right there. So
I'm gonna check that out tonight. That's awesome.
Real smart guy.
All right. Patrick Young says, I got started last year by watching your videos and downloading your contract, but my hometown only has a population of 20,000. I'm thinking of moving to a larger market. Is Atlanta a good market? Now, this is a question from YouTube, and I think this would go for everyone who thinks that maybe their city is too small, or maybe you have those that feel that it's oversaturated in their area. But this is a question from Patrick Young on YouTube. Okay. Goodness. All right. So Renikia, what do you think? 20,000 as the population, too small? Or next big city? He wants to know, is Atlanta a good market? Of course, we're going to say yes, but what are your thoughts?
Atlanta's an amazing market. Absolutely. I mean, sometimes you got to go where the money is. So if you feel there's not enough money in your area, I mean, to me, it's not necessarily, I guess the amount of people do make a difference, but if you got 20,000 people and there's still $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 homes being sold in this area on a yearly basis in their activity. So you have to kind of peel the layer back and just figure out what is the activity. I mean, if I were you, I would get with my real estate agent and I would have her to pull a report based on the activity in your area. It'll tell you how many properties is being sold. It'll tell you how many on the market, how many has been listed, the average time on the market, and things of that nature. So you kind of vet your area to determine, is there enough money in your area to really be successful at wholesaling? If not, then going where the money is probably the next best play on your chessboard. Is finding those pockets or finding those next best cities that you can do it. But it always what determines your virtual ability to be able to wholesale virtually in a city you don't live in, and also the team that you have there on the ground to be able to execute things that you cannot execute because you are not in the city.
Okay. Gifted hands photos, the IG was Chris the Shark. I think it's like Chris _ the Shark.
Yeah.
But if you just look it up or go to Todd's,
Chris with a K.
go to Ask Flipman on
Chris
with a K. You'll be able to see that there. So this is for you, Renikia, specifically. Tyvon wants to know, Tyvon, do you need good credit for Fund My Next Deal? So I know when we first start promoting and mentioning it, we stressed the 680. Maybe we've kind of let that slip through, but yes, is it still the same? You need to have a minimum of 680 across the board, across all three platforms, correct?
Yes, 680 credit score across all three platforms. And once you go to Fund My Next Deal, it brings you to a site and it has the qualifications on there as well. And we just launched our instant approval button on our site as well. So now you can get instant approved on our site, but just make sure that you meet those qualifications before you even go through that. There is an instant approval where you can put your information and it'll spit out an instant approval, or we'll have a brief conversation about what you need to do to get your credit into qualifying position.
Okay. And another question from YouTube user Ashley Hatton. Does being an authorized user on another credit account affect getting approved for your GAP program? And guys, I'm asking some of the questions, but most of these I would direct you to Renikia's staff, like call the number, go to the email, go to any of her social media accounts so you can get more personalized information geared just for you if you're really serious about taking this next step. But again, Renikia, that question was, being an authorized user on another credit account, would that affect a person being approved for a GAP program?
Actually, an AAU can be bitter or sweet. So if your AAU, your authorized user account, and they're late on their paying those bills, absolutely affect you. But AAU actually helps you. So I'm gonna just throw this tidbit out there because maybe credit is such a beast that we all trying to tackle. So you utilize AAUs when when the opportunity presents itself, because what an AAU does, it beeps up your credit. So what happens is you may have your highest credit card could be a $2,000-$3,000 card, but you may have a family member or a friend that has a $15,000 limit card. That $15,000 limit card going to have greater weight than $2,000 to $3,000. So you're able to utilize authorized user accounts to help you beef up your credit so you can qualify for more funding. So.
All right, there you have it, guys. And again, that's I'm sorry. You can fundmynextdeal.com is most definitely where you can go for any of that information. We'll post it again before we close out. Next question is going to be from YouTube, and this is for Love for KD. What do I need and how should I work with a motivated seller and an investor-friendly realtor? How do you make that relationship work?
I mean, to me, that's the situation that you want. You want an investor-friendly agent and you want a motivated seller. So to me, that's probably the most ideal situation.
That's low-hanging fruit.
Yeah. Yeah. So maybe there's something else you want answered. So maybe go a little bit deeper into what you're really asking, because that's the ideal situation that you really want.
Okay, next question from YouTube user Shayna. Says hi from Virginia Beach. She has a motivated seller in Charlotte whose house is scheduled for auction. They want to sell their home but stay in it. Don't we all? What are my options?
What happened? It means a foreclosure?
Yes, it's about to go to auction. They want to sell their home but stay in it. What are options?
I got a it's somebody that's close to me or whatever, but you know, they were asking that question because they assume I know. I think I do. Where their house has actually been foreclosed on. You know, they in there and you know what I'm saying? They supposed to be gone. You know what I'm saying? You know, they didn't got the offer from who purchased it. They would give you $2,500 to move out, blah, blah, blah. And they like, can't you think they'll somebody will buy it and let us rent it back, you know, to them, or, you know, owner finance? Which I'm relaying this to another person, and they relaying it to them. So hopefully they're getting it right. But I said, well, just think about it like this. Wells Fargo has a team of lawyers. So I'm pretty sure they're some of the best in the world, right? That ensure that when a foreclosure happens, they've crossed all their T's and dotted all their I's, and you still didn't pay them. Right. So what's the likelihood if something go bad by now? You might have gotten straightened out. You might have learned your lesson. But if something go wrong again, you're not going to hesitate to do me the same way. Trust me, I get stuff happens. I'm just telling you, you're in la-la land if you think an investor is going to buy a house, right, and let you continue to live there. And it was a foreclosure.
Same house that you didn't pay.
The same house is not going to happen. Right. You make a trick a family member, and they got that kind of cachet. You should have called. If that's the way, you should have called them before it even got that bad.
Absolutely.
Right? So that would say it's just not going to happen. You got a better chance of winning the Georgia lottery, right? It's not going to happen.
That's true.
Well,
that's the reality.
No,
I got
that's reality of the situation. That's just reality.
I had a lady call me today, say, do y'all buy houses from people and still let them live there? I had a lady call me the other day. I said, no, ma'am. I said, I ain't laugh, but I said, I was like speechless. I said, that's nothing we can do, ma'am. I didn't even know what to say, you know. Like,
nope. No, nada. Nope.
Right.
Now in the business world, sometimes people sell their business and they continue to run the business and they pay. You know, that happens all the time. But I'm saying that's different. I'm just saying, but not in this world. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You know, so.
Okay.
You know, and 9 times out of 10, absolutely no. But can you ask? It won't hurt you to ask the person who's buying your property, can you stay in there? But, you know, whether they allow you, that's a different story. So, but, you know.
Offers are free.
Offers are free.
You can always offer.
You're going to put me out. But literally, and there are certain situations, some investors, if you can catch it before it gets to the foreclosure step, you can catch it before it gets to the foreclosure step. You could probably get an investor to come in and pay your taxes, or you deed the property over, and they can work something out with you. And that, you know, and that's one of those situations. What, you know, 9 times out of 10, it probably don't work out. But have I had investors to come in and pay your taxes up, but you have to deed the property over type of situation? Yeah, but how long do you like to stay in it is a different story.
I'm just going to add, because you have our subscribers that are offering advice and on how the person could stay. So,
I'm ready to be educated.
No. We're just going to debunk why it still wouldn't work. So, someone wants to know, can you take over that house subject to and they still stay in it. But that's what you just said. That's still me taking ownership of it and thinking that you're going to pay me when you didn't pay them. Yeah. That most definitely can happen. But would you want that same person to stay there?
Yeah. And honestly, honestly, if it's in foreclosure, there's a possibility that they can get the property a lot lesser than taking on your mortgage too.
Exactly.
So that
see, they would rather sit there. Yeah, they would rather. I guess it could go both ways. Even if they went to the courthouse, stuff and bid it on it and won it, they still like, because that's what's happened in the situation I was explaining with the people I know. This already happened. It's a done deal. The foreclosure didn't happen.
Right.
He wants to see who bought it. Will they let him pay them now? Like, nah, it don't work. It don't work that way. I'm saying, I said,
you gotta let it go, get your credit back right, and start over.
Yeah, just start over. I said, I advised them. I'm telling you what gonna happen is that gonna sit there and you're gonna wake up one morning and the sheriff department is outside with a van with about 4 or 5 guys, and they gonna sit on the street in that nice.
What time they pulling up?
In that nice neighborhood, they gonna sit all your stuff.
Pull up on the block.
Right.
They pulling up on you. Absolutely.
Exactly.
And now you got an eviction on your background work.
Yeah.
So.
Wow, not a good look, fam. Not a good look.
Let it go. Just let it go. Start over. Let it go.
It's just stuff.
Take the money they're gonna give you to be able to move.
That's it.
Take that money, find you another place, get your credit back right, and start over.
I call it the reset plan.
Hey, it's just stuff.
I like that. It's a reset plan.
It's a reset
Don't
plan.
even drag yourself into that. That's bad energy.
Oh, we sage in that house.
Hey, if you got your health.
That's more trouble.
All right. Well, a lot of people think the money we're gonna pray and don't get me wrong, start killing me on this. The money gonna fall out the sky.
No, it doesn't fall out the sky. You just have to.
Prayer needs to come with action.
Actions, absolutely.
With action.
If y'all missed Wednesday night Bible study, we got Thursday night right here.
Yeah, Bible.
I know it needs to come with action.
It does.
Miss Doreen break.
Can I say one more thing?
You can.
If you got your health,
yes,
and the people you care about have their health,
yes,
amen,
everything else is a bonus.
Amen. And can be replaced.
Ty.
Can I get some snaps or something?
I don't think I made a profound statement, but that's making life as simple as it can possibly be.
Absolutely. Let it go.
Reniki, I'm gonna do this loud enough so you can hear it. Did you hear my side?
No, somebody need to hit it.
Back to real estate, man. I guess we was on real estate. We was on.
Okay, Miss Doreen Brayboy wants to know: is there an economical way to find contact information 100 leads without having to pay for an REI skip trace? I have leads that I'm calling one at a time on YouTube.
She wants to know how she
has 300 leads, but she wants the economical way to get the numbers for them to skip trace without paying for a REI skip tracing service.
Well, as I mentioned, if you look up the video, how to start a wholesale business for $500 or less, mojosales.com, you could take the list there. It costs you about $50 or so, $40 to $50. You can upload it there. That's a monthly subscription, and they're pretty good. So out of that 300, you may pull maybe about 120 to 150 of those, and probably 100 of those will be accurate. I'm just, because you're gonna have to pay for that, to get all 300 of those numbers correct. So that's going to be the least expensive way to do it. to get at least a third of your number, especially since you're just going to be calling them one by one. You're not using any special dial or anything like that or whatever. So, that's my suggestion to you on a budget.
Balling on the budget. Okay, Renikia. So this is from King Musa, and this is on YouTube. How do you handle a seller who signed a contract with you, but then changed their mind and went with the realtor or another wholesaler? So we have questions all the time about that memorandum of something. Okay. Yeah. So we don't have one. What if you don't have one? And
a memorandum?
Yeah, like you don't have one. Like you didn't get one.
Cool.
No, I mean,
like you can put your contract just on file.
Yeah. You don't just sell it or sign it.
Is it worth it though?
Well,
you want to bother yourself with it.
I mean, if you're in that situation where someone's trying to go around you and you just want to cloud their title, so they have to contact you. I mean, it's one of those situations that they got to clear you. But sometimes to me, it's a numbers game. I'd rather deal with 10 houses and hope for 3 or 4 sell than to try to push one. But yeah, I mean, file your contract if you feel if you feel that they are trying to go around you or have signed another contract with another wholesaler.
So you have those options, but it's just something that you need to weigh out.
Or sometimes you can just let it go.
Yeah,
could be more hassle. What do you think, Ty?
Yeah, about the same.
It's
hassle. I gotta, I gotta print it out, fill it out, then go downtown, forward it.
I gotta print it out. That takes a lot of energy, right?
Like I got to knit it or something, and I'm gonna have to
print it. I gotta get a pencil.
So that just gonna depend on the individual. Some people just gonna be that. I ain't gonna use the word petty.
I did,
but
petty.
It's business. It depends on how much we're talking about.
Yeah, it just depends on how much bread we're talking about.
How
you know
much
what I'm saying? If it's a significant amount of money, I might do it just to make them have to come to me.
Exactly.
I really a hypocrite right now because I'm all about principle. Everything that comes by is the principle of the matter. It's all about principle.
It's principle when it's convenient.
It's the principle. It's the principle. So it's the principle.
Principle when it's convenient. I like that.
See, I can see you doing it.
What? Call me petty man.
I can see you doing that. Oh, I'm going to do it, Ty. I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
And it depends on you put a lot of work into it, and if someone just want to take your pie, I would go the extra mile if I put a lot of work into it.
Now, if you call that realtor, now you'll probably scare them up because they don't want to get turned into the board.
Absolutely. Trust me, you can call anybody.
Yeah. Hey, I got a contract with them. I gave them earnest money. The realtor be like, hey,
I'm
some
good.
of them be like, whoa.
Right. I'm calling. All you gotta say, I'm calling the commissioner, real estate commissioner office, and we'll solve that there.
What's the commissioner on Batman? I can't.
Jim Gordon.
Jim Gordon. I'm calling Gordon. Okay, so Benta Vons, and this is from YouTube, and it's from Louisville, Kentucky. She says, I'm having trouble with ARV and comps. Is there any other system that can help with ARVs and comps? Ty, is there a system that helps with ARVs and comps?
What's her name?
You hesitate. Oh my gosh. Benta Vons.
Benta Vons. Okay, I see her right here.
You say is she right there?
Tell them Louisville. Okay, she in Louisville, Kentucky.
That's what.
Okay, you said that.
I did.
Okay.
I did twice.
Too.
Yeah. I'm filing a memorandum on Ty.
All right. So, with that being said, young lady, I ain't even got it pulled up here. Let me see. So, what she said was she trying to find out confidence.
Are you okay?
Hold on.
Yes. Trying to find comps and ARVs.
Okay. All right.
And she wants
We're
to know
gonna.
if there's a system.
Oh, outside of,
Yeah, we're gonna do something real simple here, right?
It's already coming.
okay.
All right. So we're gonna pull up Dilulator, aka PropStream,
Okay.
and
Dilulator.com. Dilulator, like calculator. Dilulator.com. DEAL.
and what we're gonna
LATOR.
do, I think I had a property pulled up. Like, okay, here's one right here in Ohio I was looking at with a cat.
And where?
I don't need to show his deal. Let me see. I already showed it. Let me pull up some. Let's go to Zillow. Let me find a property on Zillow and I'll pull it up. Just bear with me, y'all. Y'all learn. You learning here. Y'all gonna wait. We're gonna choose. Let's do. I like to use Los Angeles cause. Let me see. Los Angeles. How do you say that? Is it Angeles or Angeles? Which one is it?
Angeles.
Huh? Angeles. Okay, here we go, right here.
Angeles.
All right, so here's one for sale, house for sale, right?
Right.
And let me get rid of these here. Let me pull up some. I'm just trying to pull up some real quick so I can pull some comps and I'm gonna show her how to do it. That's 49 million. Ooh, 69 million. Jesus Christ.
Does it come with it?
let me sort these out.
Is Jesus in the closet? With the property.
Ooh.
No.
Ooh.
Ooh, no. Mm-mm.
So we'll go with this 599 one right here. Let me see.
Oh yeah, because that's
it's a
cheap.
townhouse. Okay, here's a house right here.
Oh yeah.
All right. So okay, punk. Okay. All right. So, all right, guys. Okay, I got it now. So let me go back over here to PropStream. Hopefully it'll pull up some comps here. And wait a minute. I pulled up too much. Hold on a second. Let me make sure I grab this.
While Ty is pulling that up, guys, please make sure you go to Instagram and subscribe and follow Ask Flipman.
Okay,
Join us on Facebook at Wholesaling Real Estate with the Flipman, also Flipman.
All right. Now, this particular property right here, I put it up in that Southern California area. And okay, in the system, in the service, it's going to automatically give you a value, but I'm really showing you this because you could do the same thing in Zillow, which is free. You don't have to sign up for this. It'll make it easier if I show you through this. But so what is going to do here, right? It's going to automatically pull up. It put up 13 comps in this area. This property is 1,836 square feet, built in 1950. All right. So what I like to do is, all right, so you have a number of comps right here in your property. And so you can do it by distance. I like to go from low to high, right? From low to high. From low to high, do it. Okay, so the consistency right here, you have 595, you have 590, you have 540, 535, 535, 527, 525. The consistency is in that 540 to 525 range, right? And that's what I would probably go with. So any number that you pull in that 540 to 525 range is probably going to work. There's no exact number. And so you
those are as-is values?
No. These are see what I did, I went from low to high. So that's going to be the retail side of that area or whatever. Because I can go from low. The lowest on here was 384. Yeah. So all these comps, it's strong. It's enough activity in here. So that 525 to 540 range is going to probably be a good number you can work with in this particular area. So my point is that I'm making, what you want to do is look for consistency at its highest point. And you can see what I mean. I'm throwing out the 590 and the 595 because they so far off the 540, which is the next highest, but the 535, 535, 527, 525. If I uncheck everything but those here and just uncheck those, 5 or 6 of them, it's automatically going to give you an average up here at the top of 530 if you wanted to do it that way. So I would go with the ARV of 530 for this particular property. So from there, what you can do is you can then go over here to your formula. I mean, go to digulator.com and use the calculator and put in 530,000. The square footage on this property was 1,800 square feet. If you want to do $25 a square foot, I guess that's maybe 50 grand in repairs, we'll just say. You know, worst case, if it's livable, you know, to bring a property up to market value in that area. So I don't know how much you want to make on it, but what you would sell it back to a wholesaler, I mean, for a flipper for is around 320 or so. And you determine how much you need to get it on the contract in the blue by determining how much you think you want to make on this particular deal. Oh, now one thing that when I was out there with Christian and his crew, like, this 70% is not needed out there. You could do probably 80 to 85% and they pay it.
Wow. Investors for retail. They selling to retail buyers?
No, these are cash buyers and they pay it. They would pay 374 on this lot. They probably gonna, let me go up to 85%. Yeah, they will pay that. They will pay 400.
Really?
Yeah, they will pay 400. With 50K repairs, they will pay 400.
Wow. Because they didn't.
Wow.
So they bound appreciation out there. They buy on appreciation because it's just so fast. And
so will they hold a deal like this, or will they take this to flip it?
That will flip it. They will flip it. Mm-hmm. Now they have some buy and hold buyers, but he said he really, what he was explaining on the video, you'll see it. They have like 4 or 5. He has a lot of buyers, but he really has like 4 or 5 buyers that it normally never gets past that 4 or 5 buyers.
That's all you need.
Yeah, he said normally if they don't want it, it's probably not a deal.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I say that too. It's the difference of, it's the same difference of quality over quantity. Sometimes, a lot of, we preach, get your buyers as buyer list, but if you have 100 people on your buyers list that's never buying, then what's good of your list? But I'd rather have 5 buyers that's always buying than 100 people that's never buying. So, and to me, that's quality over quantity. And when you find those quality buyers like that.
Speaking, since you have prop streams, aka deal later, aka prop stream up, if you have vacant land, so we have automotive problem solver who says the tax assessor says that a vacant lot is worth $17,500, but prop stream says it's worth $242. What would be the error there? Or is it basing it off of properties that have homes on it?
Yeah, it's probably based on properties that have homes on it. Mm-hmm. What I would recommend on that, just with land, unless it's just a lot of activity with land, just use the assessed value and do you some numbers from there. Probably take 30, 40%, 50% of that. But it's just so hard with land, unless it's just a lot of activity in an area. But a lot of times it's just not land, just so much speculation with land.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And also, when you're calculating that, take in consideration what you're building and how much that's going to cost, because you have to add that land cost to the build cost. And if you add those two together and it's very close to your ARV, then is it worth it, or are you offering the right price?
Okay. Well, it's just still speaking with land, G. That's the other question up is saying, but is wholesaling land profitable? Can it be?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yes. Absolutely.
Yes.
All right. Okay. Okay, guys, we have been on. I see that we're down on Instagram. Thank you for joining us. We will be back next Thursday, God willing. 6 o'clock Central, 7 Eastern. Ty, you got any closing words?
No.
Anything going on this week we need to look out for?
No.
Hey guys, seriously though, we really want to try the whole live question and answer setup, but we need you guys to go on Instagram, @FlipMan, and send him via, what is it, messaging or something like that?
Yeah, direct message
Your questions. But most definitely those will take precedence. Absolutely will. And you'll see them during the week as he posts information and content daily. Renikia, any closing words for the folks?
Let's go get it. Go get it.
Get it. All right, guys. Like, August is about to be over with. We got September, October, November, December. We got like 4 more months left in this year. It doesn't mean that it's over with. You still have plenty of time to jumpstart. If you know, why wait till tomorrow? What's wrong with today? Let's go ahead and get it. Watch the videos. 300 plus videos on YouTube, content being uploaded every day. We're here Thursdays. Ty has made himself semi-available to you. Actually, he's very available. You post your questions and we'll try to get to you and answer them. Renikia Williams across all social media platforms. When you get ready to step your game up, it's funding at fkfinancials.com if you want to email her, or go to fundmynextdeal.com to reach out to her and her staff, and they will respond within 48 hours. Go to her website, see what your credit's looking like. Just don't waste your time if you ain't 680 or above. I'm just putting it out there. But she does have opportunities to help you fix that as well. I mean, like, come on, trying to help you step your credit game, up, your real estate, everything. Get your bag. But without further ado, we will see you guys on the flip side, and we out.
Bye.